All right, so after about 8 years, they finally continued Dexter after season 8. This new season, or miniseries continuation, is called New Blood, Dexter New Blood, and I would give it maybe a 6.5. I can probably push 7 stars, but I'd probably give it a 6.5. It was a good episode. It was pretty good in my opinion. First, I want to just I just want to give a review first, and then I'll get more into other details a little bit later on. Yeah, I liked it. Clyde Phillips came back. It's a big deal because, he was in charge for, I guess, the stories or how the show was. He was in charge for the first 4 seasons. So before Lumen and everything, I guess he was in charge of the stories or whatever. Could be wrong. Anyway, so yeah, he came back. So, that's great that I guess I wouldn't say original guy, but, second original guy, he came back. So yeah, that was interesting. The episode started off, I don't want to say it started off slow because, when it comes to certain TV shows, one of the rules, which I don't know if a lot of people do know this, probably a lot of people don't, but with a lot of TV shows, the beginning parts are usually slow because if someone watches the episode or if they tune in, then they might miss something, and they don't want the audience or the viewers to see something or to miss something that's important to the episode. So usually episodes start off slow for the first 5 minutes. Yeah, about 5 minutes to give people time to get to their TVs, and by the time they watch it, they didn't miss too much important stuff. Because if they do tune in and something big or important did happen, and they're like, "Oh, I'm confused," and they're going to stop watching it, then that makes the viewership go down, and that could possibly make the ratings go down if a bunch of people do it. So I bring that up because the episode didn't really start off slow. In the traditional sense, it was what it was. But the first, I guess, quarter of it was kind of slow, but not in a bad way. I actually enjoyed it because it was like a new world, a new reality. Everything was new, and it was just like a new life. And it was nice to kind of be adjusted or kind of see into that new life, into that new world. What Dexter was about, what Dexter was a part of. So, yeah, I really enjoyed that. I thought that was important. That was great for the story overall. I do enjoy these new characters. Again, I don't know. A lot of people judge new characters, but anyway, so I liked them. I thought they were nice. I like to see how these new characters contribute to the story and everything. But yeah, this whole second half of the episode, it just got better and better as the story went on. So yeah, I thought it was great. Thought it was amazing, and yeah. So now, I guess I can move on to. Let me see. I don't want to move on to depths. So a lot of the rumors, or a lot of the things that were leaked out or revealed to be in this new season, basically was in the first episode. So, yeah, I guess at this point I can probably say a few spoilers. I kind of don't want to though, but yeah, a lot of the stuff. Yeah, so just a lot of it about Deb, what happened with her. I guess rumors about Harrison and his character that kind of got resolved, and it didn't. They didn't drag it out. It was just right there in the first episode what they said about him, and yeah, so that was good. I guess the third thing I could say, I want to say 4 things, make 4 plot lines. So I guess the third plot line I can talk about is the thing I liked about the kill in this episode. I guess I mean obviously there's gonna be one. But what I liked about the kill in this episode is it actually had meaning to it. They actually further explored Dexter's character now, and the whole contrast of dark and light between his character. Before, it was more of just darkness and him dealing with it, but now they actually had an actual representation, like you can actually see that, with the whole deer part, that Dexter had a light that was still there. And of course, when you know about darkness and light, then you know that whenever you're fully consumed in darkness, then the faint voice that you usually hear in the back of your head is the light calling you back, or calling us back. And in this episode, you can really see it. The callback, Dexter calling him back, his light calling him back, was the deer, and him trying to shoot the deer with the rifle and everything. And then eventually, he took a different approach to it. And he basically gave more into the light. And as he did that, that cycle started back up. I also want to talk about the cycle too, but I'll get into that. So I found that contrast, and when Dexter got his first kill, he was like, that was, he was innocent, and you shouldn't have done what you did. You almost killed me, and everything. And the dude was all like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna do it ever. I won't ever do it again," and all that. And you could really see that legitimately Dexter regrew his light. He got it back. And when he gave into his darkness, Dexter basically brought back an old part of himself, an old part of his soul, basically. Just an old part of himself that he had buried away. And of course, that would seem obvious. But now that he conjured that part of himself back up, that means what that part of him, what was left behind with that part of him that he left behind, is going to come back. As that old part of himself comes back, so does the baggage that was left behind with that part of himself when he disappeared in the last season. So then, with that being said, that can go into a lot of symbolism also. And I want to talk about the symbolism now of that season. Of course, there's a cycle with Dexter. Obviously, that was revealed in this episode, that whenever he loves someone or cares about someone, they end up dying. And that is a cycle that Dexter does have to break. So I find it interesting. I do like how the writers that they really set up that plot, that message, that, that we can't always outrun our past no matter what we do. Even if we try to disappear, even if we try to move forward, the parts of ourselves that we try to leave behind come back in some way. Eventually they're going to come back. And when they do, whatever baggage, whatever repetitive cycle, whatever was with that part of ourselves, the reason why we left that part of ourselves is going to come back also. And so are our repetitive cycles. And so when that happens, that's when we have to work on breaking those cycles. So I do enjoy how the writer set that up, that message of the past coming back, are us reconnecting parts of ourselves that we've lost. What baggage does that come with, and how can we deal with it? So, it's only the first episode, so I don't know how the story's going to play out with that message, but that's just the message that I'm seeing, is, dealing with the past and everything. I'm actually excited about that, and to see that, and to see, every season of Dexter had its own message about it, which I really would rather not get too much into it, but I guess I'll just be quick. But yeah, the first season, basically just, family, Dexter. Second season was about, freedom, or, well, not freedom, addiction, basically. And, just obsession, addiction and obsession, duality, things like that. Third season, basically, was about friendship, partnership, things like that. Fourth season was about family, obviously. Fifth season was about healing from trauma and the different methods of healing from deep trauma, how it affects people, and different ways that we need to, heal ourselves internally. Sixth season, obviously, was about religion. Seventh season was about love. And I actually don't know what the eighth season was about. But yeah, every season of Dexter had its own message, deep message, and deep story behind it. And every episode explored a different idea of what the message was about. And most shows do that. Not every show, but most shows will do that. And if you really pay attention, then you'll notice that each season of almost any TV show actually revolves around a certain idea. Okay, so from this point on, this is actually a day after I'm recording all of this. Everything that you heard before was recorded yesterday. Then I got a phone call that interrupted the recording. I probably should have listened to what I said before I continued this. Anyway, so last thing I was saying is, yeah, every show revolves around an idea. And so this new season of Dexter, I noticed, revolved around the idea of the past coming up, as parts of our old self comes back. And even when we're going through personal healing ourselves, which a lot of us are going through now, as we heal broken parts of ourselves, what was broken is going to come back, and we do have to face those demons. There's just no way around it. No matter how much we bury something, it is always going to come back in some way eventually. So yeah, I'm interested to see how the writers are going to portray that message in the show. And I don't want to sound repetitive like I always do, but yeah, that's what I'm going to say about that. And the last thing I really want to say, I want to talk a little bit about Deborah's character. I noticed Deborah's character is a lot like a Dark Mother character. That term, Dark Mother, is very difficult to describe. Basically, all forms, not to get too philosophical, never mind. Anyway, basically, the idea of it is that every form of darkness comes from light simply because darkness is formed to protect light. So if you think about certain events in your life, you could say, I trusted someone. They broke that trust. And you know what? I just want to stick to on point with Dexter, basically. But just like with Dexter, he opened up, he cared about people. And as he cared about people and opened up, then they basically died. So as a way to protect himself, basically protect himself, he shut his heart off. He shut himself off from the world. And so Deborah is really a manifestation of that, of her being a protector of Dexter, because, she's basically like a new form of his darkness, which is, which is darkness protecting who we are, who Dexter is, protecting him from being hurt, protecting him from hurting other people that he cares about, things like that. A lot of us, we all go through it. All of us go through it. Whenever we think of a lot of the pain that we hold on to, all of that pain is actually there to protect us from being hurt being hurt again. So it protects our light. So, yeah, again, I'm not going to get philosophical. I'm just talking about Dexter, but I found that interesting. So, this show is really in depth. Just this one episode is very in depth, and the type of subjects that they revolve around, between darkness being created to protect light. When shrouded in darkness, the voice of the light, although faint, is always going to guide us out. Re-exploring the past, bringing back old parts of the past and healing them, things like that. So yeah, that it's setting up for all of that. And again, I thought it was an amazing episode. I thought it was a really good episode. Now, I thought it was, I don't know what most people look for in an episode or in a TV show, but the thing about this season is it is something different yet familiar. So because it's different yet familiar, I just like it. I just enjoyed it. Every story has something unique to say, and I see the uniqueness so far. Well, yeah, so I liked it. But anyway, I think I'm done talking about my review of this episode. I thought it was amazing. Like I said, 6.5. Yeah. Well, if I had to talk about any problems I had with the episode, other than the slow beginning or the first half of it, I guess first quarter being a little slow, which I personally didn't mind, but that's one thing that stuck out to me as I was watching the show. And a lot of times, yeah, things don't really stick out. It's just, I just enjoy it. But, yeah, I can't really think of too many problems with it. Like I said, every story is unique, and in order to make certain things in the story stronger, you have to sacrifice other elements, obviously. So trying to pull out every single issue and problem about like any episode, it's like, well, obviously certain parts aren't stronger because other parts of the episode need to be stronger. So yeah, I can't really think of what I didn't like about it. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this review. Didn't mean for it to go this long. This is actually my first review I'm doing for a TV show officially. I tried to do another Showtime show, but again, not going to get off topic. Yeah, Dexter. Yeah, he's back. Do the best you can with what you got. Bye.